Hey guys, tonight we're going to talk about something that happens in the quiet, in the dark, in those ghostly hours between 2 and 5 a.m. We're going to talk about the frustrating paradox of sleep after 60. You finally have the time. Retirement might be here. The kids are grown. The frantic pace of midlife has calmed. It would detect the bright light of the morning sun and send out powerful signals to the orchestra. Wake up! This is called an advanced sleep phase. And it's the classic hallmark of sleep changes in older adults. Your SCN, not getting a strong cue to stay on during the day, starts to signal for sleep earlier in the evening. This is why you might feel an overwhelming wave of drowsiness at 8 or 9 p.m. After age 60, this architecture begins to collapse. The amount of time spent in deep, slow-wave sleep plummets. We have to become the conductor of our own orchestra, because the old one has become unreliable. This is the moment your SCN is most receptive to a wake-up signal. This doesn't have to be strenuous. You can take your morning coffee or tea onto a porch or balcony. You can take a gentle walk to the end of the block and back. You can simply sit on a bench in your backyard. The act itself is less important than the exposure. This flood of morning light does the critical things immediately. First, it hits the emergency brake on any lingering melatonin production from the night, sending a clear message that sleep time is definitively over. Second, it powerfully signals the SCN to start its 24-hour countdown. By doing this at the same time every morning, you are essentially setting your watch. Your brain now knows, okay, this is the start of the day. This means that in approximately 14 to 16 hours, we need to begin preparations for sleep. This one habit, more than any other, begins to fight the dreaded advanced sleep phase, pushing your natural sleepiness later into the evening and your natural wake-up time later into the morning, right where it should be. When you wake up at, say, 7 a.m. and stumble into a dimly lit kitchen to make coffee, the signal your brain receives is weak and ambiguous. It's a whisper, not a command. But when you step outside into the morning light, you are bathing your photoreceptors in a signal that is exponentially more powerful. A bright, sunny day can have an intensity of over 100,000 lux. A cloudy, overcast day can still be 10,000 to 20,000 lux. By comparison, a very well-lit indoor room is typically only 300 to 500 lux. Looking through a window is not enough. Modern glass filters out a significant portion of the beneficial wavelengths and intensity. You need to be outside. The single most powerful tool at our disposal to do this is not a supplement, not a medication, but the very thing that sets the rhythm of all life on Earth, light. Remember, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, is located right behind your eyes. It is exquisitely designed to respond to light. By strategically managing when and how we expose ourselves to light and to darkness, we can forcefully reset the drifting circadian clock, anchor it to the correct 24-hour schedule, and by doing so begin to rebuild our sleep architecture from the ground up. This isn't just a lifestyle tip, it is a biological intervention. For many people over 65, it can drop to 5 to 10% of the night, and in some, it disappears almost entirely. Your body is building a house with a fragile, shallow foundation every single night. You spend far more time in the lighter, less restorative stages of sleep. Because you're lingering in light sleep, you become hypersensitive to disturbances, the creak of a floorboard, a distant siren, a change in temperature, or the need to use the restroom. Each one can easily pull you to full wakefulness, fragmenting your already fragile sleep. This is why you might wake up 3, 4, or 5 times a night. You're not descending into the protected depths of slow-wave sleep, so you're left vulnerable on the surface. This is the core of the sleep paradox. You lie in bed for 8 hours, but the internal architecture of the time is broken. You've lost the most critical, restorative phase of sleep. You're not just sleeping less, you're sleeping wrong. Now that we understand this trio of culprits, the drifting master clock, the depleted melatonin, and the collapsing architecture, we can finally begin to fight back. The first step, and the most powerful one, involves taking manual control of the master clock and resetting it, not with pills, but with the most powerful natural tool we have. The conductor is starting the symphony's final movement too early. Then, because the cycle started early, it also finishes early. Your body completes its shortened sleep process, and your SCN sends the wake-up signal. However, at 3 or 4 a.m., you're now wide awake long before the sun is up, unable to fall back asleep because, according to your out-of-sync internal clock, the day has already begun. Raise body temperature. Release cortisol. Be alert. When the SCN detects darkness, it signals the pineal gland to produce melatonin, often called the hormone of darkness. Melatonin doesn't knock you out like a sleeping pill. Instead, it acts as the starting gun for sleep, signaling to every cell in your body that it's nighttime and time to shift into rest and repair mode. Here's the second part of the problem. As we age, the pineal gland often calcifies and becomes less efficient. It produces significantly less melatonin overall. So not only is the signal to produce it coming at the wrong time from a weakened SCN, but the gland itself is producing a smaller amount of the hormone. It's a double whammy. The starting gun for sleep is quieter and being fired at the wrong time. This makes it harder to initiate sleep in the first place and harder to maintain it through the night. Then, as the light faded in the evening, it sent a different signal. Time to wind down. Sleep isn't a monolithic state of unconsciousness. It's a dynamic journey through different stages, what we call sleep architecture. Think of it like building a house every night. You have light sleep stages, stage 1 and 2, which are like framing the house. Then you have deep sleep stage 3, also known as slow wave sleep. This is the foundation. This is where the magic happens. During deep sleep, your brain waves become long and slow. Your body is in its ultimate state of repair. Growth hormone is released to repair tissues. Your immune system is strengthened. And most importantly, your brain undergoes a deep cleaning. A network called the lymphatic system activates, flushing out metabolic waste and toxic proteins, like beta amyloid, that accumulate during the day. This process is absolutely critical for memory consolidation and preventing neurodegenerative diseases. Finally, you have REM sleep, the stage for dreaming, emotional processing, and creativity. Prepare the body for rest. Cue the sleep hormone. This is the essence of your circadian rhythm. But here's the first major problem. As we age, the SCN itself begins to age. The cells can become less sensitive, a bit hard of hearing, if you will. The signals it sends out become weaker. Crucially, the lens of our eye also yellows and thickens with age, physically blocking some of the blue spectrum light from reaching the SCN in the morning. The result, the powerful wake-up signal gets muted. The conductor isn't shouting with the same authority anymore. And yet, the one thing your body and mind crave most, a deep, restorative night's sleep, has become incredibly elusive. You lie awake, staring at the ceiling, your mind racing. Or you wake up feeling as though you've run a marathon, not rested for 7 hours. You are not alone. This isn't a personal failure. It's a biological phenomenon. Tonight, we're not just going to talk about it. We're going to dismantle it. We are going to expose the invisible thief that steals your deep sleep. And I will give you a science-backed, 3-step plan from a sleep scientist playbook to reclaim your nights. But before we get to the solution, we must first understand the enemy. We have to understand precisely why this is happening. So, what is really going on inside our brains and bodies that transforms sleep from a sanctuary into a struggle? The answer isn't a single switch that gets flipped on your 60th or 65th birthday. It's a gradual, systemic change in your body's most fundamental rhythm. Think of your body as a magnificent orchestra, with countless biological processes that need to happen at the right time. Hormone release, body temperature changes, digestion, cellular repair. For this orchestra to play in harmony, it needs a conductor. In your brain, this conductor is a tiny cluster of about 20,000 nerve cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. Located right above where your optic nerves cross, the SCN is your master internal clock, and its primary job is to keep your entire body synchronized with the 24-hour day-night cycle of the outside world. Its main tool for doing this, light. For decades, your SCN was incredibly sensitive. Because of this weakened morning signal, the entire 24-hour cycle begins to drift. This conductor, the SCN, has a direct line to a critical player in the sleep process, the pineal gland. But the most devastating change, the one that directly leads to that feeling of being completely unrefreshed in the morning, happens to the very structure of your sleep itself. In a youthful brain, you cycle through these stages multiple times, spending a healthy 20 to 25% of your night in that crucial, restorative deep sleep. And so we arrive at the first and most foundational step in this three-step fix. We must take deliberate, manual control of our master clock. The first action item, the non-negotiable anchor for your entire day, is to get direct. Bright light exposure within the first 60 minutes of waking. The goal is 10 to 20 minutes of this direct morning light. If it's cloudy, aim for 30 minutes. This morning light anchor is the first half of the equation. The second half is maintaining a strong light-dark contrast throughout the day. Our ancestors spent their days outdoors, and their nights in near total darkness. We now spend our days in dim buildings and our nights in artificially lit rooms. Your SCN is a creature of habit. It thrives on rhythm and predictability. Think of it this way. UV reset the conductor's watch and taught him when to start and stop the symphony. Now, we need to ensure the musicians have the best instruments and that the concert hall is perfectly prepared for the performance. When you eat a protein-rich meal, tryptophan has to battle with many other larger amino acids to get from your bloodstream across the highly selective blood-brain barrier. The process of digestion is an active, energy-intensive one that raises your core body temperature, which is the exact opposite of the gentle cooling your body needs to initiate sleep. Spicy or highly acidic foods can trigger heartburn and indigestion, which are guaranteed sleep disruptors. And then there are the two main culprits, caffeine and alcohol. Most of us know to avoid coffee at night, but we vastly underestimate its power. The half-life of caffeine, the time it takes for your body to eliminate half of it, can be 5 to 7 hours. And it can be even longer in older adults whose metabolism has slowed. That 3 p.m. cup of coffee can very easily still be interfering with your deep sleep at 11 p.m. Be mindful of hidden sources, too, like black and green teas, dark chocolate, and even some sodas and medications. To give it a VIP pass, you need to pair your tryptophan-rich food with a small portion of complex carbohydrates. The carbohydrates trigger a gentle release of insulin, which helps shuttle those competing amino acids out of the bloodstream and into your muscle cells, effectively clearing the highway for tryptophan to enter the brain unopposed. This doesn't mean eating a huge bowl of pasta before bed. It means a smart, light snack about 90 minutes before your bedtime, perfectly timed with the start of your wind-down routine. Think of a small bowl of oatmeal with a few walnuts, a slice of turkey on a whole grain cracker, or perhaps the age-old remedy, a small, warm glass of milk. This strategic snack provides the brain with the exact materials it needs, right when it needs them. Step 2 is about providing your body with the precise fuel, the nutritional building blocks it needs to create sleep. Step 3 is about transforming your bedroom into an unbreachable sanctuary, a space so perfectly optimized for rest that sleep becomes the inevitable, natural conclusion to your day. You must aim to wake up at the same time and go to bed at roughly the same time, 7 days a week. Yes, even on weekends. Sleeping in until 10 a.m. on a Sunday after waking up at 7 a.m. all week is the equivalent of giving yourself a small dose of jet lag. It confuses the clock you've been working so hard to set. Waking up at the same time every day, getting that morning light, and then beginning your wind-down routine at the same time every night reinforces the cycle. Within a week or two, you will begin to notice a profound shift. You'll feel more alert in the morning and naturally sleepy at your desired bedtime. You are no longer fighting your biology. You are working in concert with it. You have successfully taken the conductor's baton. You have reset the master clock. And with this new, solid rhythmic foundation in place, we can now move to the next steps, providing your body with the right fuel and creating the perfect sanctuary for sleep. This blurs the lines for the SCN, weakening its signals. To combat this, try to get outside for another brief period during the middle of the day. It's about strategic nutrition that supports your brain's natural sleep-inducing chemistry. The star player. Here is an amino acid called tryptophan. Tryptophan is what we call a precursor. It's the raw material your brain uses to synthesize serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter that regulates mood and anxiety. Then, in the darkness, your brain converts that very same serotonin into melatonin. So, no tryptophan means no serotonin, which means no melatonin. The entire chemical cascade of sleep initiation depends on having an adequate supply of this key ingredient. You can find tryptophan in foods like turkey, chicken, nuts, especially almonds and walnuts, seeds, oats, and dairy products. A short walk after lunch is perfect. This reinforces the daytime signal. If you're indoors, try to spend time near a window. Anything you can do to increase your light exposure during daylight hours will make the transition to darkness at night more profound and more meaningful to your brain. This leads us to the critical evening protocol, which is about creating a period of biological darkness before you actually go to bed. Starting about 90 minutes to 2 hours before your intended bedtime, you must begin to eliminate your exposure to bright, and especially blue spectrum, light. Switch to warm tone, low wattage lamps. Think candles and campfires. Your brain is wired to interpret the warm, orange-hued light as the end of the day. This is the time to transition to calming, screen-free activities. Read a physical book or a magazine. Listen to a calming podcast or an audiobook. Do some light stretching. Have a quiet conversation with your partner. If you find it absolutely impossible to give up screens, you must use tools to mitigate the damage. Enable night mode or blue light filters on all your devices, which warms the color temperature of the screen. A better and more effective solution is to invest in a pair of blue light blocking glasses and put them on 2 hours before bed. They may look a bit strange, but they are a scientifically validated tool that physically prevents the offending wavelengths from reaching your eyes, allowing your pineal gland to begin its crucial melatonin release on schedule. Blue light is the specific wavelength found in abundance in sunlight, and our SCN is uniquely sensitive to it. It is the primary signal for daytime alertness. Unfortunately, it's also emitted in high concentrations by every screen we use: our televisions, our computers, our tablets, and our smartphones. When you scroll through your phone in bed, you are essentially shining a pocket-sized sun into your eyes, telling your brain, it's the middle of the day. Don't you dare produce melatonin. This is the ultimate act of sleep self-sabotage. So, 90 minutes before bed, the screens go off. The bright overhead lights go off. The environment should shift dramatically. Finally, consistency is the glue that holds this entire strategy together. Now that you have taken command of your master clock with step 1, anchoring your body's rhythm to the natural world, we can move on to the final 2 crucial steps. Let's begin with step 2, fueling for sleep. This isn't about discovering a single magic food that will knock you out. However, here is a crucial scientific detail that most people miss. Tryptophan has a lot of competition. Equally important is what you avoid: large, heavy meals within 3 hours of bed are disastrous. Alcohol is perhaps the most misunderstood and abused sleep aid. Because it's a depressant, a glass of wine or a cocktail can make you feel drowsy and help you fall asleep faster. If you watch TV, work on a laptop, argue, and eat in your bed, your brain associates your bedroom with wakefulness and activity. A bedroom that is too warm is a major obstacle. The ideal temperature range for sleep is surprisingly cool, between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, 1519 Celsius. A partner's snore, a barking dog, a passing car all can jolt you awake. This is the final signal to your mind. a psychological off-ramp from the busy highway of your day. For the 60 minutes before bed, in your cool, dim sanctuary, engage in a sequence of calming activities. Read a physical book, listen to relaxing music without lyrics, perform some gentle stretches, meditate, or do simple breathing exercises, like inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 7, and exhaling slowly for 8. Journaling can be especially powerful. Write down any worries or thoughts that are swirling in your head, effectively dumping them onto the page so they don't follow you to your pillow. Simple foam earplugs can be life-changing. If you find them uncomfortable, consider a white noise machine or even a simple electric fan. It is a systematic return to the rhythms your body is designed for. By taking control of these elements, you are no longer a victim of your aging biology. You are its wise and capable steward. You are reclaiming your nights, and in doing so, you are reclaiming your energy, your clarity, and your health for all the days to come. The steady, consistent sound masks abrupt, jarring noises, creating a stable auditory environment that protects your sleep. Use a thermostat, a fan, or lighter, more breathable bedding to achieve this. A fantastic biohack is to take a warm bath or shower 1 to 2 hours before bed. This brings blood to the surface of your skin, and when you get out, the rapid drop in your core body temperature as you cool down sends a powerful time for sleep signal to your brain. Your bedroom must become a temple dedicated to only 2 things: sleep and intimacy. That's it. To achieve this, we focus on making the environment perfectly cool, dark, and quiet. But this is a deceptive trap, as your body metabolizes the alcohol during the second half of the night. It causes a rebound effect. Your sleep becomes incredibly fragmented, shallow, and riddled with awakenings. It powerfully suppresses REM sleep and devastates your deep, slow-wave sleep. You might fall asleep at 10 p.m., but you wake up at 3 a.m. with a racing heart, feeling dehydrated and completely unrested. You have traded a few minutes of easy sleep on set for hours of poor quality, non-restorative sleep. Eliminating alcohol, especially in the 3 to 4 hours before bed, is one of the most powerful changes you can make for your sleep quality. With our fuel source managed, we come to the final step, step 3, creating the sleep sanctuary. Your brain learns by association. First, cool. To initiate and maintain deep sleep, your body's core temperature needs to drop by a couple of degrees. Second, completely dark. This reinforces the light-dark cycle we established in step 1 on a micro level. We are talking about absolute, cave-like darkness. Even minuscule amounts of light from a phone charger, a digital clock, or a streetlight filtering through your blinds can penetrate your eyelids and be registered by your brain, subtly disrupting melatonin production and pulling you out of deep sleep. Invest in high-quality blackout curtains. They are worth every penny. Put black electrical tape over any tiny LED lights on electronics in your room, or use the simple and highly effective tool of a comfortable, high-quality sleep mask. Third, quiet. As we spend less time in deep sleep, we linger in lighter stages where we are more easily disturbed by noise. Finally, you tie it all together with a consistent wind-down ritual. This 3-step plan, resetting your master clock with light, fueling your brain for sleep, and creating a perfect sanctuary, is not a quick fix, but a permanent solution.